In this series, we're going to take a look at making a portfolio website. This will be a site intended to showcase something. We'll do some examples with pictures, and we'll do some examples with music. When you get right down to it, though, you can showcase anything you want. The base theme we're going to use for this is called Make, and it comes from the Theme Foundry. Make has a free version, which you can see here on the WordPress.org themes directory, as well as a paid version, which we'll take a look at in a few minutes. It's very, very flexible, nicely responsive so that it works well on mobile devices, and really quite attractive. Let's take a look at the paid version real quick. This is their website for it. You create a page, you go to Add New Page, and it asks you to build a layout, and you can pick from any of these. Then you add your content and do some styling in the Customizer. The paid version has some custom additions for WooCommerce and easy digital downloads. It also has some quick start templates, and some pre-built styles. Also, you can create a widget section in the main content area. And here are some examples of some of the things you can do with it. Make Plus is $99, and if you use it a lot, it's well worth it. However, the free version works very well, and we're going to use it for our demonstration today. We're starting right off with the default install. There's nothing unique about this. I'm going to clean it up a little bit by removing the default stuff. There, now that's done. Let's go to Appearance, Themes, Add New. And you can see here, Make is one of the featured themes that WordPress.org thinks is particularly cool. So let's just click Install. And activate. Now let's reload the home page. It's pretty plain right now because I don't have any posts or any pages. We have some beautiful botanical gardens here in my city, and I take a lot of photos when I go there. So we're going to make a portfolio site showing off some of those photos. In the next video, we'll create some pages, and we'll get some images in there, and we'll show you some really beautiful ways to show them off. In this video, we're going to lay the foundation for our portfolio site. We're going to make some pages and make them look the way we want to before we start pouring the content in. So the first thing we're going to do is make a home page. We go to Pages, Add New, and click Home. Now I basically want a blank page, so I'm going to choose Columns and make it one column with no section title, and then simply publish. Now if I view this page, it's just a plain blank empty page, which is what I want for now. So next I'm going to make a blog page. And for this one, rather than choose any of the page builder options under Make, I'm going to go to Template and choose Default Template. And that's going to give us just a plain old WordPress page. And eventually this is going to get overtaken by the blog functionality of WordPress, so the kind of page we choose here really doesn't matter. So I'm just going to choose Publish. And now let's pull up the front of the website. So right now the blog is our home page, and the home page is just another page. So let's start changing the way this whole thing looks and works. And we're going to do that by clicking the Customize button here in the top toolbar. Now on the left here we have the WordPress Customizer. Not all themes take great advantage of this, but Make does a wonderful job with it. And you can really do great things with your website with the customizer in Make. If we click General, we have quite a few options here. Right at the top is our site identity. And we can choose a logo and a site title and tagline, things like that. Now, we're going to make a portfolio of photographs from my local botanical gardens. So let's call this A Day at the Gardens. And then I don't really want a tagline, so I'm just going to click Hide Tagline. And I could choose a site icon. And I don't have one, so I'm not going to yet. Next are labels. Here we have search, which goes right here in the search bar at the top. Menu is what appears on mobile where the menu would be, so you can click something. A sticky label says featured, and a read more label says read more. We're just going to leave those for now. And here we can set up social icons. Take a look over here in the bottom right. You'll see that right now we have an RSS icon, and that's indicated here because it's checked. If we uncheck it, it disappears. We can choose to include an email icon and put in an address. And now there's a little email link. And you can add an icon, or we can see available icons. And here are all the different available ones that we could add. So let's add Twitter. We will leave this and choose Add Icon. There. Now we have Twitter. And it made that happen simply by typing in the URL. So we'll leave those just like that. White label is something that is available only if you buy Make Plus. Down on the bottom here it says Built with Make, your friendly small business site builder. With Make Plus you could remove that. And here we have static front page. Right now our front page is our latest posts. We don't want that. We want to switch it so our home page is the page we called home. Just like that. And then our posts page is the blog. Now I'm just going to click Save and Publish to update all the stuff we did. There. Now our home page is the home page. And blog is under /blog. And we have no posts, which is why it says nothing found. But let's go back to Customize. We're going to change a few more things. Here we could change the menus, but I don't want to for this theme. I'm just going to leave it the way it is. But typography will be great. For global, we can choose a font family, size, color, and all of that. Links, buttons, etc. We're going to leave those all at the default because those are pretty great. But let's take a look at site title and tagline. Right now it's set at sans serif, which is whatever your computer thinks is the main system font. If we click this, you'll see that we have many, many options. And these options all come from Google Fonts. If you go to fonts.google.com, you'll see all of these fonts. And you can sort them over here. And you can see how many styles you want, what type, etc. Now I found one earlier that I really liked called Satisfy. And there it is. Now I don't need to do anything to get it from here to over there. I just use this to find the one I want. I can use the customizer and type in Satisfy. And there we are. Now I also want it to be much bigger. There. And I'll show you why in a little bit. But we're going to leave everything else the same. We don't have a tagline, so we can skip all of that. And you can do the same sort of font manipulation for all of these other areas. But let's go back and now go to Layout. Your global layout, you can be full width or boxed. They look the same on my monitor because my monitor is actually quite narrow, but full width makes it so the content goes all the way to the edge no matter how big your monitor is. Boxed keeps it narrow. Now let's look at our header. Right now we have a traditional layout. We could also choose navigation below and centered. And I like centered. And now you can see why I want my font so large. It fits well in centered. We can choose to show the search field or not. And we can choose to show social icons or not. I like both, so we'll leave it just like that. Now let's look at our footer. We can choose how many widget areas we want, and we can choose layout. If we go to centered, now it's consistent across the whole site, and I like that. And here we could choose to show the social icons in the footer or not. Since we have them in the header, we may not want them in a footer, but I do like having them there. We can also change the size. Right now it's at 20. It could go up much bigger if we wanted, but 20 is good. We can do the same sort of thing for the blog page, the archives, search results, posts, and pages. So let's hit save and publish. So as you can see, the customizer can really help you make unique looking pages. Even though this theme might be used by thousands of other people, you can still end up with a site that looks just like you. We're also ready now to start putting in portfolio items. So that's what we'll do in the next video. In this video, we're going to put some text on the homepage, and then we're going to put a portfolio gallery right on the homepage that's going to be a selection of photos from our other portfolios. So sort of a showcase of the showcases, as it were. So we're right here on the homepage. At the top, I'm going to click Edit Page. Currently, we're using columns, and we have just a single column. So I'm going to click the pencil and type in some content for this page. There, and now we'll click Done. I'm going to click Update real quick, and at the top we can click to View Page, and there's our text. So now let's put that gallery right below it. Before I do that, I'm actually going to upload quite a few pictures via the media library. That way they'll be available to all of the work we're going to do in this video. There. Now I have a bunch of pictures available. So let's go back to the page, and now I'm going to click Gallery. And as you can see, it puts it right below the text area. Now within this gallery, I have some options. I could put in a section title. I can choose how many columns, aspect ratio, caption style and color, and a background image, etc. We can even automatically darken the background to improve readability. So if you have a bright image, it will darken it for you. But we're not going to mess with any of that stuff. Within each image is also a setting, and you can put in a title and a link. So I'm just going to click the image right there, and I would have the option to upload a new one or simply pick from the list. And I can do the same here and here. Now if I want to add more, I can simply do that. So now let's click Update again. And there we are. Now right now, they are not links because I haven't actually built portfolios for these to link to. But when I do, I can come back, I can click the little gear, and I can put in a URL for it to go to. But for now, we have exactly what we were looking for. a home page with a little bit of text and a beautiful portfolio grid right on the home page. In this session, we're going to take a look at creating some different types of galleries. But before I get there, I'm going to change my header a little bit. I found a great image at the Meyer Gardens website. So I'm going back to the Customizer. I'm going to go to Header. I'm going to choose Header Background Image. I've already uploaded it, so I'm going to choose from here. And that's our gardens. But I don't like the text written right over it like that. At least I don't think. Let's try it like this. Then, in order to change the main fonts, I need to go here. I'd really like a drop shadow on that, but I don't see an easy way to do that in here. Let's see what it looks like. Traditional. A bit better. You get to see the gardens better. I think I'll go with that. Now let's look at our home page. That's pretty nice. Maybe later I can go into the CSS and put some drop shadow on this font myself. Now I've decided that I don't want to call my blog blog. So I'm going to go back to Pages, Edit, and call it my Photo Archive. And then I will make posts. There. Now it says Photo Archive over here on the right. And I don't have any. So let's make one. Let's call our post Day 1. And I'll write a little bit about this visit. Now I'm going to use a default WordPress gallery. There. Now I've chosen 9 images. I'm going to create new gallery. Now I can caption these images, or I can choose not to. I'm going to choose not to at this point. Then I can link to media file. I like 3 columns. I don't want random. And I can optionally show gallery as slider. We're going to leave that off. Make a new gallery. Sorry, we'll make a new category. No tags. And if we had Make Plus, we could add layout settings to posts as well. But we don't, and that's okay. And we'll publish. Then we can view this post. And there we are. If I go to my archive, it looks like this because we are showing full content on the archive. And we can link right to it. In the next several videos, we'll look at some other galleries and how to make them a little more attractive than this. One way to make WordPress galleries more attractive visually is to use the plugin called Jetpack. Let's install that now and I'll show you how it works. We have a whole series on Jetpack at ostraining.com. So if you really want to get in depth, you can take a look there. Now I need to connect it to WordPress.com. Now I'm going to go to Settings, and here's a list of all of the Jetpack options. As you can see, there are quite a few, but tiled galleries is one that we want. So now let's take a look at this gallery. It doesn't look any different. So now let's edit this gallery. And now we have an extra option here. We can choose thumbnail grid, tiled mosaic, square tiles, or circles. Let's choose thumbnail grid at first and see what we think. It looks exactly the same. So now let's try tiled mosaic. There. Now that's a lot prettier. Now this is kind of narrow because it's expecting a sidebar over here. I'm going to leave it like that because at some point I'm going to put in some widgets to show an archive. Also, now when I click, it goes to that. Let's see if we can change that also. Let's try square tiles. There. Now it's similar to the way it was in the beginning, but it got rid of some of the space between. And then I'll show you circles. I'm not crazy about it, but it's impressive to look at. There. So that's what circles look like. By far my favorite is the tiled mosaic. So we're going to put that back. There. That's much more beautiful. Now my images are all approximately the same dimensions, which is why we have a large and two smalls, three smalls, and like this. If some of the images were taller than others, then this layout would get even more exotic, and it starts to look pretty cool after a while. In our next video, we'll take a look at some slider options. In this session, we're going to take a look at using sliders or slideshows to present your content. Keep in mind that some people don't like looking at images in sliders, so this is a decision you'll have to make on your own. Some people prefer to be able to just see all the images at once and click the one they wish. But some do like sliders. So we'll take a look at how to make that work. Let's edit this post. And then here on the right, you can show gallery as slider. You can choose to hide navigation arrows and navigation dots. You can choose to autoplay, time between slides, and the effect. We'll choose slide horizontal first. And there we are. And if we make the screen narrow, you can see that it's responsive and continues to work even on a phone. Let's choose Fade and Autoplay. And there, after 6 seconds, or 6,000 microseconds, you can see that it changes itself, and it fades. Now those are all the options we have. I'm going to turn off the autoplay because it annoys me. But I do like fade, so we'll keep that. There are other options for sliders besides the one built into WordPress. One of the best, in my opinion, is called Soliloquy. It's extremely well made, puts a value on performance and security, and is very responsive, including touch responsive, so if you're on an iPad you can touch it with your finger to change slides. The main one is not free. You can get it for your personal site for as little as $19. But there's a light version on WordPress.org. So you can download it and try it, get an idea of how it works. Let's try that and see how it looks. There, now we have a nav item down here called Soliloquy. Let's add new. And we'll call it Butterflies Day 2. And we'll select images. Now because this is the light version, we have to upload from our computer. We can't choose from ones that are already in the media library. And here are our images appearing just like that. You can click the eye and put in some metadata. You can include a long-form caption as well if you wish. Under Config, you can change a theme, set up some dimensions, a transition type. The free one only has fade, transition duration, transition speed, and a slider gutter. And then you can choose to crop the images to match your slider size. I don't want to do that actually. And what that really does is ignore your slider dimensions. So now I'm going to publish. So now my slider exists, but it is not on any poster page. I could copy these shortcodes, but instead I'm going to do something a little different. Earlier I created a Day 2 post, which simply has some text on it. But now here at the top I can add slider, and I can choose from one of the existing ones. We'll update, and now we'll view post. And there it is. It's auto-playing right now, but I can advance manually. There are many other options besides the built-in and Soliloquy. Some of them are free and some are not. You'll need to try them if you don't like these and see which ones you do like. And lastly, keep in mind, not everyone likes a slider. You'll need to check with your audience to see how popular that is. And you can do that by posting some in sliders and some not in sliders, and look at the popularity of the posts in your stats. If nobody goes to the slider ones, maybe you shouldn't be making those. In our next video, we'll take a look at making an audio post. In this video, we're going to take a look at making a page for an audio gallery. WordPress has some excellent audio presentation tools, and we're going to take a look at using those. So first, let's make a new post. There. Now I have some text. Now I want to add a playlist from some music. I'm going to go to Upload Files. And then I will choose some music. And there we are. My music is uploaded. But now I can go to Create Audio Playlist. These are all pre-selected for me because I just uploaded them. It grabs the titles for me and puts them over here. And it's all set. So now I'm going to go Create Playlist. Now I could change the order by dragging them around if I wish, but they're in the order of the album, so I'm going to leave that. I can show a track list, show artist name and track list, and show images. There. Now you can see right in the editor that I have that playlist there. Now it says Rob Costello here, and I don't want that. So I'm going to edit this and not show the artist name in the track list. There we are. Now I'm going to include a featured image from the gardens. And then my theme, Make, will handle that featured image how it sees best. So we'll publish, and we'll view post. So there we have an image at the top. It says Day 3. Today we went to a concert at the gardens. And I can click and it plays the music. Now obviously putting an entire album that you don't own up on your website is probably not a good idea. Somebody's probably going to come after you. However, we're building a portfolio site here, so I'm assuming that you are perhaps a musician and will want to put your own music on your own site. As long as you don't have a problem with someone downloading it, then that works just fine. And as you can see, it's pretty attractive. The same thing works for videos. The process is exactly the same, and the only difference would be a video player here above where this audio player is. There's really not that much more involved with creating an audio or video profile. WordPress handles the embedding of that media just fine. As you can see, it's not that difficult to build an excellent portfolio page, given a good base theme and excellent content. I can't stress that enough. A good portfolio site comes from good content. If you have gorgeous pictures or beautiful music or wonderful videos, then you're a long way toward having a great portfolio. Pair that with a solid base theme like Make and some excellent plugins, and you can have something really great. We made a homepage using a gallery built into Make, which isn't very interactive, but really quite attractive. We have a nice archive. Our archive has full content in each post. We made an audio post. We made 2 different slider posts, plus an excellent tiled post. I hope that your experience building a portfolio for your own content goes just as smoothly as mine.